Hello again, and welcome back, all my favorite coder cats and coder kittens. This is me, Becca, going by Nightcat or Nightcat's Meow most places online, and I am here again to talk with you about Linden scripting language. Okay, in this particular one, we actually had a discussion a little bit ago. I meant to get to this video sooner, but life's been kind of throwing me some curveballs. Regarding the methods by which you send information to different parts of an object or different scripts within an object. So I thought I'd go ahead and do up a quick example of something that uses different methods of communication and go over what works and doesn't with them. And the way I'm going to do that is with actually a lighting control system. We're going to actually make it a really simple one, just because don't want to make this overly complicated for education here. So we'll take 3 spheres, just like making the Mark I cube, except in this case it's a sphere. Personally, I'll think they look better if you blank their texture, make them slightly yellowish, add some glow, maybe a full bright, and then you'd individually control giving them illumination. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to quickly create the control for turning their light and glow on and off. We're going to do that with a set primitive parameters. Actually, we're going to set this. We're also going to need a control device. This would basically be your light switch. You can use any particular box, any box, object, prim, whatever you want. I'm just using a basic box because this is just a quick tutorial version. So, go up into here, script. Light on. Light off. And the specific commands we're going to work with are all out of set link primitive parameters. I love you, Lily, but I need to work. That is my cat. And actually, I put in set link because I usually run this from one place. The better way usually is to run it from one specific place. In this particular instance, we're not going to quite do it that way. So it's not set link primitive parameters, it is set primitive parameters. Sorry about that. Force of habit. So, set primitive parameters. And the parameters we're setting are going to be handled as a list. Pardon me while I move a cat again. She is being very lovey-dovey today, but unfortunately, I need access to my keyboard. So, the first one we're going to find is point of light. So Control C, all of that. Control V it right into there. Whoops, accidentally deleted the opening thing there. Integer Boolean, since we're turning this on, we're going to make that true. To keep this simple, we're going to keep the color just simple white light. Now to get intensity, float, and radius, the easiest way to get those is directly off of your light objects themselves. You can edit, not slug face. Features, intensity 1, radius 10, fall off 0.75. So intensity 1, radius 10, fall off 0.75. If you want different numbers, play around with your lights. Figure out what works, plug those values in. So now we've got it to actually emit light. We're now going to adjust, take off build tools. It's glow, just because I'm a stickler for things looking right. So here it is, glow, which is a pretty simple set of parameters. Control C again. So we'll just add another comma and extend the list. We're not doing anything fancy here, so all sides and intensity 0.3. There we go. That will turn it on. Just as easy to go down here. Change point light false and glow to 0. Now we can test that with light off. Name of an object it needs to receive this message from. Key who, this is a specific key it needs to receive its message from. And string message, this is the specific message it's listening for. So they're set to channel 0, any object, any key, specific messages. Simple as can be. So if message equals light on, what we're going to do is the simple light on event we created up here. Else if message equals light off, light off. There we go. And that's just because I accidentally capitalized the N. So I type out light on, light off, light on, light off. Simple enough. We put it down here. We're going to create a simple toggle. I'm sorry, Lily. I have to do some work right now. I'm sorry, girl. Integer light equals false. Don't need that. If light equals false, say 0, comma, light off, return, else light equals true, say 0, comma, light on, now I've just created that same simple toggle switch right here on your light switch, and it works. So if you have, as long as it's not coming from the same object, that works. Let me show you what happens if you try to send that message from inside here. I told you, Lily, I have to work right now. I will have to give you a picture of Lily. She is wonderful. I am very lucky to have had her come into my life. and we'll make sure that we know which one this is coming from. So we know it's coming from light bulb 1. Save. Alright, it just sent out the light on message, but nothing happened. It responds over here. Any given prim or specific object, if it is a mesh, a sculpt, whatever have you, that specific object, it is incapable of listening to a message that is sent from within itself. You can listen to a message sent from another object within the same link set, but not from within itself. The usual way to better handle that, by the way, is not to just have different pieces floating around. If you absolutely had to use a listen, you could theoretically, and you had to have it read by a different script in the same object, or the same script in the same object, then you could theoretically use a relay device, but that's awkward, that adds extra time to things, that's not really a good way to do anything. You could do it, but it's not a good way to do it. Instead, I'm going to show you a little something. Now this one is a little more complicated because it involves a lot of different parameters you can set. And that is, whoops, message linked. Just going to Control C. Control V. The first thing you can do is you can set this to individual link numbers. So you can send specific messages to specific parts of an object. In this case, we don't need to. We want it to go everywhere. So we're going to go link set. You can still filter by channel if you choose to. So you can send numeric data, which processes faster than text data. So we will just simply, for the moment though, we're keeping this simple. Light on. And key ID. If you need something to process by key, you can send a key as part of a link message. You don't have to, but you can. So you can use this to transmit who you're interacting with. You can use this to transmit a textures key. You can do all sorts of things with that, but you don't have to. We're perfectly capable of ignoring that with a null key. And I just realized a small goof. I put that as on when that one needs to be off. So there we go. Now this is sending message links. So in order to actually do anything with it, we have to set up a handler for that. We have it set up with a listen handler, but a listen handler isn't what we need. We can in fact turn off those. That you're probably hearing is Lily murring at me and walking across my desk. Girl, I need to work. I told you. Okay, now that I have displaced the Lily one more time, she really is such a love bug. I cannot be happier for having her, but she does make this more difficult. So, link message. So you have, like all of the others, like a listen, you have the thing that sends it from the other object. Here, like with a listen, you have this establishes the listen, you have all these different variables, and then the listen handler processes all of the same ones. Same thing here. The link message that sends it out, the LL message linked command that sends it out, the link message handler has variables for. So there you go. There's a simple light switch control that works on multiple parts. You could have, if you wanted to sort of simulate a multiplex system, you could have different switches that sent commands to different sets of lights. but I can go ahead and expand on that later over the next couple of weeks and go through and detail this more. But this is a good way to start to understand link messages and the limitations of using a listen and say structure, because you can't have both the listen and the say in the same object within the link set. Also, link message gives you a lot more control over exactly what you're sending, exactly how you're processing it, what has to process it. If you have something that's complex enough that needs a whole lot of different scripts communicating between each other, that's really the better way to go. So that's that for now. In terms of the other big crises in my life, I had some support from a friend to keep this sim going for a bit. A couple of friends actually have helped me out on this. So it's good for at least another month. Hopefully I'll have a stable idea of what's going on by then. If not, hopefully I'll have another place to record from. But fingers crossed. As far as the other matters with dealing with my housemates passing, so much of that is still up in the air. I'd love to give all of you some solid answers, but I don't have any yet. So that is it for now. As usual, I will say good week, good luck, happy scripting. Please have a look in the description below for links to the Discord as well as to playlist links. Also, over the next couple of weeks, I will be making a point of getting some things up on the marketplace for sale. I'm going to start making projects that should be easy to use for people that don't actually want to study scripting. So basically, you'll be able to benefit from these two different ways. If you want to take the time to learn, my video series is here. If you want to just give me Linden and go and have something to play with, I will be able to serve that need as well, starting in the near future. So, hopefully y'all come back again. Happy to have you all. The encouraging messages I get in these videos literally mean the world to me. They're a big part of what keeps me going. So, thank you all. You are wonderful. Could not do this without you. Please be well. Much love. See you in a week.